Are you looking to undertake a townhouse development project but need advice around what needs to be actioned and when? Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to share exactly what you need to action and precisely what point in the development process this needs to be done. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Peter Kelly here from Little Fish Property Developments, helping you maximise the value of your land and generate wealth through low-risk residential development projects. On this channel, we share everything you need to deliver successful projects time and time again. So if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on so you don't miss a thing. When running development projects, no matter what type or size, pre-planning is not only the first, but the most important step of the entire project. There is no question that poor planning will directly impact the outcome of your project. For the purpose of this video, we're going to assume that you've already secured the site and the project is underway. My goal is to get you up to speed with what you should be thinking about at each of the key phases in your project's life cycle. The first phase is the design phase. The first step in the design phase is to get your land surveying done. So you need your features and levels and your re-establishment surveys complete. You would then engage your drafty, and it's this information from the surveys that they will use to plot out your project. In parallel, you will need to come up with a design brief explaining specifically what you are hoping to achieve with the site. It is important that you don't hold back. The more information and direction you can give, the better. That said, you still want to ensure that your drafty has the ability to use their own knowledge and skills to maximise your site. I suggest you focus on the look and feel and leave the initial footprint and layout to your draftsman or architect. It's good to get your drafty's raw and uninfluenced ideas on how the site should be developed and then of course evolve them from there. During this preliminary design process is when you should engage your town planner. It's vital that you get their contribution and feedback with the preliminary design to ensure that it aligns with your area's planning objectives and requirements. This will minimise the back and forth with council, saving time and money. Your planner is also responsible for pulling together your planning report that supports your final town planning drawing submission into council. The next stage in your project's life cycle is the town planning. In this phase of the project, you can expect a lot of waiting. You are waiting for the feedback from council with relation to your application. Your overall aim in this phase is to achieve your planning permit and ultimately your endorsed set of drawings. The key is to be ready to respond as timely and practically possible when you do receive the request for further information from council. And never forget that time is money. The next phase is all about working documentation. Once you have your planning permit and whilst you're waiting for your endorsed drawings, there are circumstances where you can proceed with your working drawings. If your project team is confident that the conditions on the planning permit won't change the design, this is a way to make up some time whilst waiting for your endorsed drawings. In this phase of the project, you'll be arranging for all your working documentation, such as working drawings, energy reports, engineering, and civil design. We also put a lot of time into the specifications. We make our final decisions on all fixtures, fittings, and finishes. This guarantees that when we tender out to our builders, they all have the same information to price the project. And most importantly, they don't need to make any assumptions. Once your documentation package is complete, this is when you go out to your builders you have identified that suit your project and run your tender process to ultimately appoint that builder. Next up is the demolition phase. The first thing you need to be thinking about in this phase is the abolishments of the existing power and gas. The demolition cannot happen until these have been taken care of. Typically, the abolishments take up to 20 days from when you apply, but it can take longer, which is something you need to be aware of. Something else to be aware of is that there's no abolishment required for water. Usually your demolition contractor will turn the water off at the meter and remove the pipe up to the meter. It is important to note that the asbestos on your site has the ability to delay your demolition process. Prior to the commencement of your demolition, it's your demo contractor's responsibility to identify any asbestos and arrange its removal by a specialised contractor. If this step is missed, you risk your site becoming contaminated with asbestos, which can be costly to clean up and is guaranteed to cost you significant time and money. The next phase is the build phase. The key here is to allow for your builder to do their job. As the property developer, it is your responsibility to arrange for the service connections at the relevant times within the project and as agreed with your builder. These connections include water, NBN, power and gas. It's also your responsibility as the developer or project manager to be working through your plan of subdivision conditions. Your goal should be to achieve timely registration of the new titles towards the end of your project. This ensures that you can settle any off-the-plan sales within 14 days of the project's completion. Finally, in the build phase, it is your responsibility to hold your builder accountable to both time and quality to ensure a perfectly executed build. Your mindset should always be to support your builder. You work with them through any challenges that they may encounter. At the end of the day, you're a team and you both share the common goal of delivering a successful project. The final phase of your project is the completion stage. The focus here is on finalising the build, the subdivision approval, the registration of titles, achieving the certificate of occupancy, and working towards any pending settlements. If you've done all the prior steps in a timely, efficient, and effective manner, then this phase of the project should be pretty straightforward. If you miss something, it can cost you significant time and money, so make sure you keep your finger on the pulse right to the end. That's a wrap, guys. Hopefully you're getting a ton of value out of these training videos. We love making them, so if you have any questions or topics that you'd love us to tackle, drop them in the comments box below. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do and turn the bell notifications on so you don't get left behind. I'm Peter Kelly, thanks for watching, and until next time, happy developing.